Welcome back to our channel, ladies. Today is an absolutely beautiful day, and I am just so thrilled to sit down with all of you again. We have got a story today that is going to make your heart skip a beat, I promise you that. I have to tell you, my heart was just in my throat when I heard about the terrifying incident down by the lake involving Drew Kane. We all know Drew has been through the ringer lately, fighting so hard just to regain his mobility and piece his life back together. To think that he was suddenly plunged into such a life-threatening situation is just a tough pill to swallow. The sheer panic of that moment, the cold water, the desperate struggle for survival, it is the kind of thing that keeps you up at night. I could hardly believe my ears when the details started coming out, and I just know you are going to feel the exact same way when you hear how this whole nightmare unfolded. Thank the good Lord for young Giovanni Palmieri. That boy was exactly in the right place at the exact right time, like a guardian angel sent straight from above. Gio did not even hesitate when he saw Drew in distress. He jumped right into action, risking his own safety to pull Drew from the treacherous waters of the lake. It warms my heart to see such bravery in the younger generation. In a town where so many people are looking out only for themselves, this young musician showed what true courage looks like. If Gio had not been there, I shudder to think about the tragic news we would be discussing today. He truly saved the day and gave Drew a second chance at life. But Gio did not just stop at the rescue, and this is where the story gets incredibly intense. Instead of keeping quiet or letting the chips fall where they may, that brave young man marched straight up to the Quartermain estate. Can you imagine the scene? The heavy wooden doors of that grand mansion opening, and there stands Gio, likely still catching his breath, ready to deliver a bombshell. He laid out the entire truth for the Quartermain family, holding absolutely nothing back. He told them exactly what he saw and exactly how Drew ended up in that terrible predicament. I can only imagine the gasps, the shock, and the absolute fury that must have washed over Tracy and the rest of the family as the reality of the situation set in. Now, let us talk about the person responsible for this horrific ordeal, because this is where my blood really starts to boil. Nina Reeves is at the center of this storm, and her actions following the accident are just plain shameful. Instead of taking responsibility and begging for forgiveness for her part in nearly costing a man his life, Nina went straight into survival mode. She started spinning a web of lies, trying to justify the whole terrifying event by claiming that it was nothing more than a tragic accident. She actually had the nerve to say that Drew simply lost his footing and fell into the lake all on his own. It is just heartbreaking to see someone go to such lengths to cover up the truth. Nina is banking on the hope that Drew will keep his mouth shut and go along with her fabricated story. And she is not acting alone in this deception, which makes the whole situation even more complicated and dangerous. She has aligned herself closely with Jack Brennan, and those two are thick as thieves right now. Brennan has made a firm promise to Nina that he will provide favorable evidence to back up her ridiculous story. He is pulling strings behind the scenes, using his influence and strategic mind to build a protective wall around her. It is a classic case of powerful people thinking they can just sweep their misdeeds under the rug, and it honestly makes me so frustrated to witness it. You might be wondering, just like I was, why on earth Drew would ever consider staying silent and letting Nina get away with this. Why wouldn't he shout the truth from the rooftops and demand justice? Well, my friends, this is where the story takes a dark and twisted turn that I completely did not see coming. Drew is not staying quiet out of the goodness of his heart, and he certainly is not doing it because he believes Nina's lies. He is trapped. He is completely cornered because he cannot retaliate against Nina. And shockingly, Willow, that is right, Willow Kane is deeply involved in this mess, and it breaks my heart to see how far she has fallen from the sweet girl we used to know. It turns out that Nina and Willow have formed a sinister alliance, and they are holding a massive, dangerous secret over Drew's head. They have somehow gotten their hands on concrete evidence of Drew's past crimes and misdeeds. They are using this evidence to ruthlessly blackmail him. Can you even imagine the heavy burden on Drew's shoulders? He is a man who was just fighting for his physical recovery, and now he is fighting for his freedom and his reputation. Every time he looks at Willow, a woman who is supposed to be family, he has to face the fact that she is willing to destroy him to protect her own interests and her new seat on the hospital board. It is a betrayal of the highest order, and it is tearing that family apart from the inside out. This blackmail has pushed Drew into a state of deep obsession and paranoia. He is haunted by the fact that he is entirely powerless against these two women. The evidence they hold is a ticking time bomb, and Drew knows that one wrong move could cost him everything he holds dear. He is pacing the floors, his mind racing with ways to escape this trap, but every door seems firmly shut. The psychological toll this is taking on him is immense. You can just feel the desperation radiating from him. It is proving that his current struggles are not just about his physical health anymore. They are deeply rooted in this terrifying new reality where his own family is holding him hostage with his past. The situation is escalating so rapidly, and the trouble is going much further than anyone could have ever anticipated. This is not just a simple disagreement or a minor family squabble. This is a full-blown crisis that requires some serious adjustments. Drew realizes that he cannot fight this battle alone. He is up against a wall, and he needs someone who understands the dark, gritty reality of leverage and warfare. He needs someone who is not afraid to get their hands dirty to protect their blood. And that is exactly when the tide begins to turn, bringing a glimmer of hope to this incredibly dark situation. Enter Jason Morgan. Jason has just been released from his captivity, returning to Port Charles as a changed man. He came back with a heavy heart, wanting nothing more than to step away from the dangerous mob life and finally focus on finding peace with his family. But as we all know, in a town like Port Charles, peace is a very rare commodity. When Jason sees the agony his brother is going through, when he realizes the depth of the betrayal Drew is facing at the hands of Nina and Willow, all thoughts of a quiet life go right out the window. Family protects family, and Jason is not about to let his brother be destroyed by blackmailers. The bond between Drew and Jason is something truly special, and seeing them come together in the face of this adversity gives me chills. They are putting their heads together, ready to launch a massive counterattack. They are carefully adjusting their strategies, knowing that they have to outsmart both Nina's cunning and Brennan's resources. This is no longer just about surviving a fall into a lake. It is about reclaiming their power and taking down the people who thought they could play God with their lives. The brothers are gearing up for a war, and let me tell you, it is going to be a battle for the ages. I just sit here and think about the storm that is brewing over that town. On one side, you have Nina and Willow, armed with dark secrets and backed by Brennan's strategic mind. They think they hold all the cards, and that they have secured their safety. On the other side, you have Drew and Jason, two men who have survived the absolute worst that life can throw at them. They are resilient, they are furious, and they are fiercely loyal to one another. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife, and the anticipation of this impending clash is keeping me right on the edge of my seat. It is stories like this that remind me why we get so invested in these lives. We see the pain of betrayal, the desperation of survival, and the beautiful, enduring strength of family bonds. I cannot wait to see how Drew and Jason execute their new plan, and I am counting down the days until Nina and Willow finally have to face the consequences of their ruthless actions. I will be right here keeping a close eye on every single development, and you better believe I will be ready to share every juicy detail with all of you. Until then, stay safe, hold your loved ones tight, and keep your eyes peeled for the fireworks that are surely about to explode.